fabulous was the weather today. I walked past the daybed and the sun was slanting down across it and the cat was asleep. And I thought, oh, bugger it. I'm just going to lie down for a few minutes. And I did, because last year in July, I did much the same thing. I walked past the daybed, I looked longingly at that sun and the cat asleep, and I went, no, I don't have time to lie down. And you know what? The very next day, and I kid you not, I slipped over and I broke my leg and I dislocated my ankle, and I was in that bloody bed for 3 months. There's a moral to that tale, and we can talk about that over dinner and a fine wine. John's actually just pointed out that I don't drink wine, and I don't drink wine. But champagne, I drink sparkling Australian wine. That's very nice. So if you'd like to take me out for dinner and throw in a glass of sparkling wine, I'm all yours, and I'll tell you about that moral. Now, Nicola, hello.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
You're coming from your wardrobe.
Yes, I know. I bet you didn't think you'd be coming into the closet today.
No, and I'm so impressed. Look how neat it is. Oh, my God. I'd never do that.
I'm not doing before photos. Let's just say getting your call was a little inspo to clean up.
ISO inspo cleaning. I love it.
People are shocked.
So what's your first piece of random shit, Nick?
Okay, well, my first piece is a ring-a-date perpetual calendar that was designed by the Italian Giorgio della Beffa in 1970. You may recognize it. It was a bit of a sensation at the time around the world. It even exhibited in the Museum of Modern Art in New York for quite a while. So, it's 3 rings, and you can change, obviously according to the day of the week.
Yeah.
The numerical date and the month. It comes in English and it comes in Italian. I've had this since Christmas 1974. I think it was about $30 US at the time, looking online, doing a bit of research recently. At the time, so that was a bit of an extravagance to get that from my younger sister. And I suspect she went with my mom into Harvard University's, the COOP, it's called, the cooperative, the university's cooperative there, and they would have purchased it there. It was a Christmas present, but it was also a thank you, bit of tongue-in-cheek for her appreciation for me being her manager. She was on a children's TV show at the time. Zoom was, they just did a write-up in the New Yorker earlier this week. But anyhow, it was a program that was on since 1972, one of a kind, from WGBH Boston, with kids that were not professional actors. They chose them specifically for that. And it was a show for kids by kids. And it was fantastic. And we loved it. We watched it all the time. It was a half-an-hour show. And when season 4 was coming up, they were looking for people to audition. And I really wanted to do it. I was 13 at the time. And so, as you did back in the day, I went up to my parents' bedroom where the second phone was and sat on the side of the bed. And Kate came in as moral support, and I rang the station number to do the audition request. And the lady said to me, "Oh, how old are you? When are you turning 14? Oh, I'm sorry, you're actually too old. You're at the older end, and we were looking for younger kids." And I was disappointed. I started to hang up, and then I went, "Wait, I've got my sister here, my younger sister, she's 11. Meanwhile, Kate's going, no. She was really shy. She just, was like a shadow to me, activities around the neighborhood with the kids and all that. But to her credit, she went through 3 auditions and made it onto the show. Ended up doing, I think it was like 32 episodes. They even did an album. They even went to Washington, D.C. and sang for Richard Nixon. And it was a big deal. Even every week that she took a paycheck to the bank would call my parents and go, and I don't understand because they were depositing money, but question, where is she getting this money from? Like, how is she coming about all this money all the time? And yeah. So anyhow, I've had it, and what's amazing to me, at least, is that it was on my bedroom wall at my parents' house for a long time, and then it was shipped out to where we lived on Bainbridge Island outside of Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, the U.S., and then it's made it to Australia 22 years ago. It's still in pretty good nick, but you can see it's being propped up by little box here because plastic is deteriorating a bit, and it was just recently suggested to me maybe I should try and shadow box and all that. And these days, I don't change it every single day. I tend to keep the date the last time I cleaned it.
So when was the last time you cleaned it?
Oh, I think it's time. Not that you can't tell from the floor, but yeah, that's really cool. So Kate was in season 4 of Zoom, and yeah, it was fantastic. So that always reminds me of that, and it was really good for her the way it brought her out of her shell, and who knew? And you know what? I don't know. I cannot sing to save my life, and they always finished off the show with a finale, a song that the whole group did, and I don't know if I would cut that. So, anyhow, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to put you on the spot now, Nick, so don't worry. You don't need to sing.
No.
No. All right. I'm going to show my piece of random shit, and this is it's funny because this is like my little claim to fame. I don't know whether it is or it isn't, but a long time ago we used to have John and I had a photo library, and that's one of the letterheads still from that. And in this magazine, we did a lot of work with travel brochures. And so in this magazine, this was advertising Cairns, and that's me in that hammock. So, I've got a bit of history around liking to lay about in the setting sun, because there I am lying about in the setting sun up Port Douglas or wherever it was that we were at the time. Sunrise. John's just telling me it was sunrise, and I guess that's right because it's coming over the ocean. I can hardly believe that I was up that early when I was that old, but I think the evidence is there, really, don't you? All right, I'm not gonna comment on that anymore. And here's some more of the sorts of things that we used to do. So that would be my footsteps leading out away, and that was on Whitehaven Beach.
Oh, nice.
In North Queensland. It was a magnificent place. Very nice. All right, so what's your second piece, Nick?
Okay, I'm going to pick up the stand and go into another part of the house, so I'll just turn it around. This, again, is something that I've had for a really long time, and it's the sides in the china cabinet. All these little odds and ends. And it's this little mouse. I've had it since I was 3. It's not like any particular, like I looked and there's nothing like Royal Dalton or anything like that. It's a bank. And I remember as a kid, it was really hard to get that plastic plug out if I did want some money out.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, I got that, well, the story I know is I got that when I was 3 from one of my mother's friends, but the kids came to my 3rd birthday party. This is by the time we'd moved to Boston, and anyhow, and it's, again, been with me. I remember being in my bedroom growing up in Boston, and then, out in Seattle, and it's made it all the way to Australia, and here it is. And, but my sister Kate, was visiting, and she saw this in the cabinet and said, "Oh, that's where it ended up. I wondered, something to that effect." And also said that she thought it was, that she was a co-owner, that we both received it. Now, our birthdays are both in October, 5 days apart. I was 3, she was 1, and I was like, who gives a mouse bank to be shared by 2 kids? Anyhow, I don't know. And it's, I was surprised she hadn't laid claim to it before. She's visited me in other places and certainly was down the hallway from the bedroom at 25. So, but anyhow, then not that long ago, my mom sent out some things that were like a friend of my grandmother's had knitted me a crocheted hat with ribbon and socks and all that sort of thing. And there was a bunch of cards. I've got all the cards from my 5th birthday party, right? But one of the cards was this, when I turned 3, with a mouse. This is my proof that I think it's mine. Signed by the kids of the lady that my mom's friend that gave it to me, Mrs. Filio, Mrs. Helen Filio. So anyhow, I don't know. Sorry, Kate, if you're watching. I don't know if you've got proof like this. So anyhow, it's just, but again, something that has lasted through the years and through, thousands of kilometers of shifts, living in different places, different countries. So.
And you still have it.
That's it. Yes.
And who are you going to bequeath it to? Which child?
Oh gosh, the first grandchild.
Oh, first grandchild. What a good idea. Nice one, Nick.
Oh, screw that.
Quick thinking. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Well, look, I'm going to quickly share my second piece. And all right, so I'm getting messages from the control room that we've got plenty of time. Now, for the viewer at home, Nick and I have we have many mutual friends, but the mutual friend that first connected us is our friend Desley, who we both love enormously and think of pretty much every day. She's been gone now for 8 years. Yeah, which is astounding. Anyway, so I have this string of garnet, a garnet string. Hang on, can you just go back onto that other camera? My lippy looks terrible. Look at that. I don't know. Is that one?
Fancy.
Yeah, anyway, all right, let's forget about that. So we got this string of garnet, and Desley and I both bought them from the Tibetan monks at Woodford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we both had a strand of that, and we really loved it when we wore that together. But the other thing that I've got, which is hilarious, and my sister's just going to, really give me a hard time about this one too, is these little wrapped up pieces. Maybe I'll put them here so you can see. On 3. Have you got that? Okay. So they're pieces of wrapped up newspaper, and it's a bit like unwrapping a Beck's or a Vincent's powder. And inside, I'm not going to ingest it, inside is the coloured... Hey?
I'm a little afraid.
Oh, I've just spilt it everywhere now. So, look, there it is. I'll pull it out. So that's the coloured sand of the mandala that the Tibetan monks used to make at Woodford. So Desley came home with some, and I came home with some. And there you go. So thanks, Desley, for encouraging me to bring home some coloured sand. And I'm sorry, Sue, that I still have that. And then I thought maybe I could make it into a necklace or something. Put it into a
jar.
Something.
Why not the test tubes you had out recently?
Ah, nice one, Nicola. I think I'll do that. Put a plug in. All right.
Thanks to Desley for connecting the two of us.
Yeah, it's been such a joy. And I've got her in the back here, there, with the cookbook. Can you see that? And this beautiful lamp that she gave to John for his 50th birthday. Yeah.
Oh,
so, what's really beautiful is when you have really good friends that they never ever really leave you, do they?
That's right, they're everywhere. And she's everywhere.
God, all over the place. Thanks, Des. All right, Nick, thank you so much for joining me. It was so nice to see those two very random items.
Thank you. Thanks very much for inviting me to your show.
Okay. There you go. Thank you for that. I've made a complete mess with the sand, the coloured sand. I'll be able to scoop it up and put it into the test tube as Nick suggested. I think that's a good idea. You have a fabulous weekend. We will see you on Monday afternoon. Great. How about that bloody bunny and your sister? Fancy saying it's hers as well.
No, I wasn't aggressive. It was just thought,
I understand.
wow.
There were many things, and she's a younger sister to you. There were many things that I used to purloin from my sister. Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's fun.
It's
I
fun.
miss exchanging clothes and all that sort of thing with my younger sisters. That was always good
It
fun.
is. Yeah. All right. Okay. So did Luke get home?
Yeah, he did. And when I came out, he was like all over the couches here.